Hi everyone, it's JoJo from Mojo Jojo Plants, and today I am planning in my Skinny Classic Happy Planner from November 17th to the 23rd. Today I'm going in with some printable stickers from Planet Darby. This week, Wicked for Good releases, and so I wanted to do a Wicked theme spread, so I'm going in with these scraps from Planet Darby. So we have these scraps, these are green plaid, and then we have these pretty Wicked blooms. You can get them in printable or you can get them in tangible. But either way, I do have a discount code down for you guys in the description below. The classic pink and green vibe. So let's get to it. And then of course, I'm going to pair it with my new obsession, which is using the mini vertical rainbow boxes in my Skinny Classic. I've just really been loving this size in this size planner. So that is what we are doing today. I guess I'm trying to decide if I want to do all my blooms down the center. It's a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of work. So I kind of think I might start with that today. Usually I start with scraps, but now I'm kind of thinking I think I want these to go down the center today. So let's start with that first. And I'm going to start laying these in here and finding different pieces. And then maybe the whole center will just be bloomified. And we'll see what happens from there. Let's see here. Trying to keep it kind of condensed. I only have 3 more kind of big pieces, and I'm trying to make it go all the way up to the top. So, and then we can use the smaller pieces to kind of fill in. But we're just going to lay these going down the center. I have one more medium-ish piece. It's not as big as the others, but we will use that to kind of fill out the rest of the area. Okay, so we have our blooms going down the center, and then we'll be able to use all these other small pieces to kind of branch them out a little bit. But before we do that, let's go ahead and go in with the scrap. So I'm going to go in with this plaid vibe for the win. I think I'm going to do both corner pieces, which means, yes, I am going to end up covering up that side, but we can fix it. So I am going to cover it for a second, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the dates and pick a font. I feel like this cursive font is kind of fun. And then we're just going to replace what we took. So I'm going to put the November back in there, so that way it still says November, and that way we don't forget. And then I can go in with days of the week stickers, and I think I'm going to do this for all of them. So I am going to add Monday, and then I think I'm just going to cover up all the other ones. So we'll do Tuesday. That way they all match. So I'm going to add those in here, since I had to cover things up anyway. And that way, at least it all matches. So no complaints there. Okay. And then I'm going to go to my number stickers. And then same thing, I'm going to cover up the old numbers with the new numbers. So starting at 17. That way I can just get everything to match, and then I don't have to worry. Now these might be, I know the numbers are a little bit big in here, so we'll see how well they cover them up. Okay, I feel like they're doing a pretty decent job. They're like just big enough to cover up the whole thing. So that's a relief. This one doesn't matter as much because I already covered it up with the florals. Same thing with this one. And then we just have 23. Okay, those worked perfectly. And then now I have those all covered up and set. And then I'm going to try to find, which there's so much stuff on my desk, it's not even funny. I'm like, I don't even think I have them up here. I sure don't. Okay, so this is one of my old ones, but I need one for 2025 anyway, so we're going to throw that in there. And then real quick, I am going to just do a little bit of trimming on the top and the bottom where I have some of those stickers kind of poking out. So I am going to cover and chop those off. Okay, and now we can kind of go back in with some more of the scraps. So I'm going to just find some different areas and add them in. I'm actually going to try to add them in areas where I know I'm going to be layering, because we love a good layer, and I love to layer. So I'm actually going to add some in some of these random spots. Okay, I love this plaid. It's a lot of green though, so I think I'm going to have to rely a lot on some pink to kind of tone it down just a little bit, but I do think this is turning out really fun. Okay, so let's go in with the mini vertical boxes. I am going to go to the pink color that's in here. I'm just looking to see. Okay, so we're going to go to the pinks. I think I'm going to use the lighter pink and kind of play off this light pink that's in here. And shocker, I have the hiccups again. Oh my gosh. So bad. Okay, so I'm going to go in. We have our Friendsgiving with our friends on Saturday, so I will add that fun box in there. And then on Tuesday, I have a live with patrons where they get to find out all the details of things upcoming. And then Wednesday, we actually have 2 appointments. So I am going to go in with some smaller boxes. I guess I don't have any squares, so that's kind of funny. But I am going to put 2 little small boxes in here for that. Again, I just love this size in here. I think it's such a fun size for this planner. And I'm going to do, let's see, was that 2 things? Yes, that was 2 things. Okay, and then the kiddo has, she has ballet on Thursday, so let's do a little bit of a bigger one. And then I think I'm also going to layer a scrap on that one. And then Friday we have a small appointment. Again, this is where I am like, I need scraps because these boxes are so small that now I kind of need things to help take up some of the space. So this is why I like using the scraps, because then I can kind of layer and then it doesn't look, as empty as it could. And then, like I said, I'm going to take another little scrap here. Oops. And layer it on top of the box. Okay, so there's nothing on Monday. We have our stuff on Tuesday. We're just kidding. Yeah, nothing on Monday. This is Tuesday. We have the 2 things on Wednesday, 1 thing on Thursday, 1 thing on Friday, and then 1 thing on Saturday. And then as of right now, that's kind of all we have in the works for what we have. So now I'm just going to kind of go in with some of these smaller little pieces and kind of extend them out into the rest of the spread. So get some tweezers because now I'm having trouble pulling them up. But now I'm just going to go in and kind of get a little bit more of these florals in more places. That way it's not just in the center. And I'm just going to start adding them in. Add some of the bigger ones as a part of the spread. Do a little pink one. And then the last one we have is a cluster, like a leftover cluster. I kind of think I want to put it up here. So I'm actually going to move this little one down, and then I'm going to put this other cluster piece up here. Okay, just like that. And then we finished that sheet. Very green, very pink and green. Okay, I think that looks like a lot of fun. And now I think I just need a quote, and I'm kind of thinking a sassy quote, because Wicked is sassy. I just think of sassy vibes. So I am going to go in and see if I can find something sassy to stick in here. Okay, I'm just going to add in. I'm looking for like kind of a bigger one too to stick over there. Stick that over there. Okay, just some sassy quotes to add into this spread. All right, now all I need to do is cut this in half so that way I can repunch it, which is always the most difficult part of this. So let me go and do that real quick. Okay, and then once I've gotten it cut in half, all I'm going to do is stick the 2 pages back to back. That way I don't get any of the stickies stuck in the punches. And then I'm going to line it up with my Happy Planner punch with the little lines. And then we're going to give it a good punch. Mine always gets stuck, so I always have to open it and go dump it out. All right, and then once it is all punched and cut, it is all good to go into my planner. So there we go, you guys. I so hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I hope I'll see you in my next one. Bye!